Okay, here we go. Got to get rid of this. And we are going to use Darkstar today. And our destination is right here, St. John's International. And we're picking that because I've run into a YouTube of a couple who's on a little island. Right in this little area. We'll close in on it. But first of all, how do we get there? Well, I could take this across the country. You've done that a few times, and if you haven't, you can look in my library and find San Francisco to Newark, or San Francisco to Boston, or Monterey to Boston. I guess if you put Boston in, you're going to end up right here at Logan. So anyway, this is just a little jump up the coast to Owl's Head is where I'm going to start, and then we have an 800-mile trip to St. John's, and we'll have plenty of time to talk about the couple. SCAT, I think they call their program, and they've got a little island which is barely inhabited. They probably it was more inhabited in the past when fishing. It was a fishing village, but anyway, my attention has been drawn to them, and so how do we get there? Well, we take off from here in Darkstar, and that would be just under an hour across to Boston. Now, I flew from San Jose to Boston in a Aztec back in the 60s, and that airplane was then I flew home from there on an airliner, but the owner and a ferry pilot flew probably up to St. John's and then up to Greenland and Iceland, and then finally get over here to we'll get some things in here. Where are we here? Something I recognize. None of this. Lisbon, Portugal, maybe. And that's probably right here, Gibraltar. So probably could come into England, and this is going to be France down in here. Here we can make this more picturesque, more. So this is probably Iceland right there, and then Greenland is right over here. So you fly from St. John's to England to here in little airplanes, when you're ferrying little airplanes over to England. And Palace of Westminster, Needles Lighthouse. Can't find. There's Liverpool. Can't find Heathrow. Heathrow's probably right under there somewhere. Anyway, we don't have to find Heathrow. We're not going there. Where we're going is St. John's, and we're going to fly from my old friend Guy in Maine, and that would be right about in here, and it's going to be about an 8-hour flight, and we have to get in here at Rockland and Camden. He lived in Camden, and I went into Owl's Head, so we'll get down here, take off from Owl's Head. Actually, we don't have to do that. Rockland and Rockport and Camden. So he was somewhere right in here, and so we're going to use that as our departure. That's going to be our departure area, and we're going to depart from altitude, custom departure from Maine, and we're going to take that out to St. John's. There's Bar Harbor. We're going to fly up through here. Southwest Harbor. Bar Harbor is known, and I don't know Winter Harbor, any of that stuff, but we go right along the Maine coast, then over Nova Scotia. Here's Nova Scotia. I've been into Halifax, and we'll fly right up here to St. John's, and that's our arrival. So you see how that goes, and it's 711, so it's about 800 nautical miles. It says 10 minutes, which is all we want to do. We want to get up there, and then once we get up there, we're going to get into maybe a float plane to fly around the little islands up there, where they fish, and they're not doing any hunting. They're raising sheep, pigs, and chickens and goats on their little island. And again, I think it's Scat or Scote, SKOTE, is their website. And it's a young couple. Very he can do anything. He's actually done the Northwest Passage in a kayak. He's paddled through this upper area here, which is, that's asking for trouble doing that. He can live in the wild. He builds things in the wild, and you'll see when you go to Scote, you'll see all that. So anyway, that's enough of that, and we're going to get going here. We're going to go ahead and click fly, and we'll put it on hold. There's our TBM flying over someplace in Italy. How's that? Just guessing. Bologna. I think it's a little flatter in that area. And we say ready to fly. Go ahead and do that. And we're going to go ahead and pop in the hold. We have to get things turned on here. First, we put the scramjets in standby. You've been through all this. Turn on the fuel cell battery, and then we have to go ahead and put the throttles all the way up, and then we have to click them into afterburner. We're back up here, and we're heading out of Owl's Head area, Rockport, Camden, whatever that is, up there in Maine. And we're going to scoot, and we should be at 100,000 feet, 101,000 feet. So here we go. Let's go back outside. And it's not clicking outside. Oh, we have one other thing to do, which is for some reason, and we'll see how we click back on here. Keep default, and we resume. There we go. So again, we're at 100,000 feet. We're going 3.95. We're going 2.95 right up here on the top. Look at that. And then we click this off, and we hold it level. Hold it level until and we go ahead and kick out here. Here come the scramjets kicking in.
Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra contact Austin Center on 133.45. Good day.
Right up the coast of Maine. Probably go right over Bar Harbor. And we got to say goodbye to the air traffic control.
133.45 experimental Delta Kilo Sierra. Goodbye.
Bring the nose back up. Get this out of the way. So we're up to Mach 7.5. And I can see Nova Scotia coming up. And we say goodbye to Maine. And we're coming to the right just a little bit to get on course. So we hit St. Joseph's, I think it's called. Oh, it's St. John's. St. John's. Okay, let's see how we're doing on our course. And we'll go scooting right up the coast here. We got to get back up to back up to 100,000 feet, 70,000, 30,000 feet a minute, so we'll be up there in no time at all. So we can then be clicking along so there's Maine. Maine is back over that way, and then this is Nova Scotia right here. Halifax is probably going to be over there on the east coast. So I haven't been up in here. This is probably a more popular port up in here because it's protected. There we're at 97,000 feet. We'll go back inside, get our nose down. We'll hold it 100,000. Fly right up Nova Scotia. .85 Mach. Almost 10, Mach 10. That's what Tom Cruise in Top Gun 2. Flying this machine. A mock-up. They had a mock-up of it. Skunk Works down in Mojave. They built it near Edwards Air Force Base. Okay, now we're starting to see Newfoundland. Okay, we've gone 400. When we get about 100 out, we want to shut it down to get back on the ground down in St. John's. Okay. So that right there is Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia. Oh, we're still over Nova Scotia. And we'll look out ahead. We'll see Newfoundland up to the left. So we got to come back over to the left. 99,000 feet, 330 nautical miles to go. And that ought to get us on course right there at 100,000 feet. Look back. So, Newfoundland, off to our left. So we're going to fly up the coast of Newfoundland to St. John's. And we're still doing 9.8 Mach 9.8. And we just went back across our course, so we have to come back to the right. see what we got here. 219. So we can start going down. And we'll get on course. That ought to do it. And we'll bring in the so we can turn off the turbos. 136 miles. Turn off the scramjets. Here we go. That should start slowing us down. Get back on course right here. And what we'll do is we'll bring in the chart. Right there ought to do it. Let's bring it over a little bit. Where are we? 74. Okay. We should have our afterburners on. Yep. Okay, we're heading right for St. John's. Newfoundland. Wow, can't believe I'm flying over Newfoundland. How are we doing? Mach 3.6. We're heading right for where we want to be. What's our altitude now? 47. We need to drop down some more. Look outside again. We're back on the tail. Yeah, I think where we're going is right about in there. Lots of bays, lots of lakes. $29,000. Mach 3. And we'll start the power back. Okay, gonna get a little bumpy now. Oh wow, I can see the we bounced right off the water. There's our runway. And then I think we're gonna find our couple is gonna be back over here on the other side of the island. He grew up in St. John's, and we'll come around. Let's get looking here. Okay. We'll have to come around. We'll land right back on that runway. There we go. Put the wheels down. No flaps. We get the wheels down. Wheels down. There we go. Get rid of this. 180, 200. Got the yo-yos going. Here we go. I don't know what's over here, but maybe we've got a little place to park over here. That's pretty good. Let's see if there's other runway running across this way. Sure does. Get right into the Maine airport. We're in a little airplane to be refueling. Okay, there we go. At St. John's Airport, Newfoundland. And then we'll be flying out of here just local. Thanks for riding along. Hope to see you soon. And I'll double check on that website for the couple that's on the little island living. They don't have any electricity, and they got a little old house that was run down, and they're fixing everything up, and they'll have a garden, and they'll be pretty much self-sustaining. And they've got a speedboat and a fishing boat, so we'll see what all they do. Fun stuff. Take care. Get back inside here. Shut the rest of the things off here. Okay, back outside. And we'll look the other way. I don't know if there was a tower here. So this is the jumping off point to fly over to Europe in little airplanes. So I never did that, but I flew one of those aircraft that was being ferried from the west coast from San Jose, California. I flew it to Boston. We had 2 stops. We had a 55-gallon drum where the 2 seats in the back are, put 55-gallon drum in there. That we were able to fly across the United States with, I could probably have done it in 1 stop. But we stopped in Wichita, and then we stopped in, or Kansas City. Stopped in Kansas City, and then we stopped in Morristown, New Jersey. We stayed overnight with some friends, and then probably about a 45-minute flight from Morristown Airport, northern New Jersey, near probably 30 miles from New York City, and flew up the Long Island Sound to Boston, and then that was it. I got to fly home on an airliner. Okay, thanks for watching. That's it on this trip. We're up on it. We made it to Newfoundland, and now we're gonna bounce around Newfoundland, checking all the nooks and crannies out. Okay, bye bye.